team that people were expecting to be a very good team. Dignitas was a team that a lot of people were saying, yeah, they're not going to be one of the stars. They're going to be aiming for middle of the pack.
Expectation versus reality was kind of like the biggest gap.
Yeah, it was so different because they knocked out the reigning champions. They had a better series against the people who would become champions than their opponent in the finals did. Spoiler alert, if you didn't watch it, you kind of don't need to. So that's just... Sorry, dude. Sorry, not fired. Anyway, that just means that Dignitas is exciting, and I'm looking forward to seeing if they can keep this up now that we're in the regular season.
Absolutely.
The bans are done. It's going to be Jace, Gwen, Thresh, Zeri, Renekton, and Corki
Karma,
all banned out.
Esmel, and Ezreal.
Caitlyn is
there
up.
It is.
Caitlyn is drafted. Karma, Ezreal's the answer.
Yeah, as soon as you see Karma, you're kind of like, all right, well,
Where's Ezreal?
Where's Ezreal? Get over here, buddy. Get on in there. So they have the bot lane to answer. But Caitlyn, very, very strong. Lux is available if they want to go for that really kind of classic lane. Of course, you can go for engage supports as well and look for the engage, the CC, and the trap. Look more for those kind of kill lanes. But Lux, very, very powerful as far as the trading does go. Other options are available. Some of the enchanters are not seen as much. I've been kind of surprised, I'm going to be honest, that we haven't seen really any Nami. I feel like Nami lanes very effectively, with champions like the Kate. I do think that the Kate Lux combo is so incredibly strong because if you hit the binding, you have the double ult that can come through. You hit the the 90 caliber net to be able to get your headshot proc. You have such a strong kill combo there. But it is, I think, a lot more difficult to lane into things like the Karma and the Ezreal, who have so much poke, who have so much push, can be pretty tough in the early stages. River gonna get his J4.
Yep.
That was all of Dignitas' wins in Lock-in, was him playing J4. They actually only won with him playing Jarvan. I do think he performed well on other champions, but this was really what people were saying, wow, you gotta watch this guy play when he got on this champion, because even when things went poorly in the early game, he didn't do the kind of default, all right, well, first gank didn't work, time to farm. He would just keep going at you. He would find different angles to come from. He really circumvented vision in intelligent ways, predicting where the wards would be, finding really clever paths to approach, and as a result, he was super, super effective.
And I mean, the amount of praise for him on Twitter, especially from prominent personalities. Yeah, Core JJ talking about holy cow, it's so fun to watch such a good jungler.
I found that hilarious,
Which, of course, that one felt like kind of a gut punch to Santorin at the same time. Be like, wow, man, it's awesome to see a good jungler.
Yeah, exactly. Wow, this is amazing. And then after they had the good game, he went on with the tweet, wow, it feels so good to watch such a good jungler like Santorin play.
Yeah, it was
Everyone's
good.
like, free Santorin, save him.
Well, we do have our bottom lanes and our junglers for both sides here, which means, Mr. Azael, it's time to target those solo lanes in the second half of the bans, and we are targeting the mid lane.
A lot of bans.
So we're going to see Orianna, Twisted Fate, and Ryze's Shoulder all banned away here in the second part.
Plus Corki. Corki banned out of there as well. So a lot of bans thrown towards that mid lane. It'll be interesting to see if we see yet another. Yeah, Victor as well.
Okay.
So,
we're way down
really
on the tier
pushing us
list.
down. And
yeah.
now I'm going to be interested to see, are we going to get... Because LeBlanc is actually up, funny enough. With all those bans, LeBlanc is available. That is one that usually doesn't even make it through the first round. So LeBlanc kind of conspicuously open, almost as though you want someone to pick it and maybe you have an answer for it. Another thing like Zoe, Blue showed a pretty impressive Zoe game, had that really cool Baron steal with the Spellbook Smite, where he was able to R flash the extra distance into the pit, smite it away. That was a really cool highlight play. Akali coming through. I suspect it is just tank Akali up on the top side.
Yes, it's much more of a revenge champion than a PowerOfEvil champion.
And it has been nerfed, but still really, really strong, to be honest with you. You can go the AP build, but I've still in solo queue just been seeing more chem tank. People are still just liking tank Akali. Gragas, that's FakeGod, pretty much for sure. So you could be AP Gragas, could be tank Gragas. He seems to be more on the tank side of things. The Zed, I think, is a bait, so I'm going to wait to see what we're going to get. But I think Zoe would make a lot of sense. Zoe, Lux, Kate, play with a lot of range, look for some poke. You have J4 and Gragas, 4 engage. To me, that would round out the composition here pretty well. LeBlanc is the other obvious option. They are going to go with that. Mentioned that was kind of conspicuously absent from the ban table. And now it's up to PowerOfEvil, because so many of these control mages have been banned out. He did play Azir in Lock-in. He also, played TF Victor Orianna, but those are all banned away. I do think Azir would not be a big surprise here, but it could be something that could get picked on because J4 plus LeBlanc are a really powerful 2v2 combo, can go aggressive, can look for those kills. So it's going to be a different look.
I like
it will be
this.
Vex.
I like this. Vex can do so much. The opportunity to pop off in team fights with proper aim of the ultimate, the resets. She's a ballistic missile when she first goes in. Immediately applying the ult, chasing in, has the AoE fear on top of it. Very scary.
Absolutely. Really, really scary stuff. Plus, pairs well with the Akali, right? You know, it's giving you this dive buddy to go in, to reach towards backline, to try to take out the Lux, as well as the Caitlyn. There's also some really cool interactions with the passive on Vex, where you can do things like saving that passive, and then if a champion like J4 is coming in, or a Shen's coming in with a taunt or a body slam or whatever, you save that and you use a reactive W to actually fear them out of their gap closer, out of their CC, and it interrupts most gap closers. It does seem to have priority over most gap closers in the game. I'm not sure if it actually cancels
how well they performed in that, and you know they want to keep that up.
It's going to be really, really exciting to watch. Vex, we've seen a little bit. You know, Palafox played it, but we haven't been seeing it a lot. So it is pretty interesting, you know, and it's another champion that I could see actually kind of fitting the bill here. They're not going to go for it.
We got a sweeper sweeping everything away, so that means we're not going to get the... I was hoping for like the opposite of the Earth level one where everybody just runs into each other and meat grinder in top lane. I wanted the bottom lane meat grinder, but we didn't get it.
Yeah, I think the reason is, I mean, and Dignitas is being smart. They only had 3-man bot, so they expected the ward. They go bot to actually ward that out. Immortals, if they had all 5, you know, maybe you both actually do just walk into each other and something happens, but because Blue and River were not there, Blue is mid lane watching there, River actually went and got a deep ward as soon as they saw them. So, you know, that was kind of the response. Was just this one deep ward that they actually are going to see them kind of walking in right over in this area.
All right, so River looks like he'll be starting here on the top side. Same can be said for Xerxe, so our jungles will be pathing towards that bottom side of the map. We'll be keeping an eye on the Akali, seeing exactly if Revenge is going to keep going with the tank build or if he just goes for something more traditional AP, start off with a Rift Maker, get more damage from there. Of course, Caitlyn and Lux are both good targets for an assassin, but being tanky against something like a LeBlanc, having the Jarvan and the Gragas going after you to juggle you around. Gragas can knock Akali out of her smoke as well, which is her survival mechanism in those fights. So I'm interested to see how it'll play it.
To me, one of the biggest things is that it's just so much more forgiving, right? You still have high enough damage that people cannot walk through you to actually team fight. They cannot ignore the Akali. And you're tanky enough that if you get hit by 1 CC, you're not just instantly dead. So you can often play the fights, and even if you're not zeroing out the Caitlyn and the Lux, you dive in, you ult towards the Caitlyn and Lux, they have to back up, you drop the Shroud, and you kind of just camp in the Shroud, and it acts as this kind of just zoning tool where they cannot walk past you. They have got to respect it. If they walk through, you kill them, and if they don't, well, guess what? You're zoning out the carries while the rest of your team is winning the team fight.
Yeah. Now, top side, FakeGod here with the Gragas. This is another big playmaking champion. I always enjoy seeing Gragas in games, just because the champion has a lot of skill expression in terms of the barrel placement, being able to combo your ultimate, making sure that you've got those angles. Exactly. There's a lot of different ways that you can express mastery over the champion. Here back in mid lane, though, Blue getting a nice little bit of the root there onto PowerOfEvil, who just barely doesn't make it out of the range. And both of these guys will have so much ability to impact these fights as the game goes on. The burst potential of both mid laners in this game, absolutely huge. We've been in this Victor Corki meta where it's a lot about the poke. Of course, Victor has some burst. We've seen Corki rockets do 60% of your health. But this is more about like, hey, I caught you out of position, snap, you're dead.
Yep, absolutely. Another thing we haven't really touched on is how Vex actually works against champions with dash. So you actually get the Gloom passive proc anytime they use a dash. So if the LeBlanc jumps in, you can get that bonus damage on your auto attack and sometimes really win trades. So it makes it more difficult for someone like LeBlanc to really play it aggressively in those cases. And Dignitas using that bot 2v2, pushing up here to try to secure that bottom scuttle for River. Will be now interesting to see if River wants to go straight up into the jungle. It looks like, yeah, he's pinging that he wants to go for the Zen, so he's going to try to just invade here.
Xerxe does have full HP. River tried to poke him with the Dragon Strike, but not a whole lot there. One thing I also want to point out, up against Caitlyn Lux, WildTurtle does not have a cleanse. That means if he gets caught with a binding, Caitlyn can then place a trap underneath it. You're going to get chain CC'd, you're going to get stunned, you're going to get hit with everything. So positioning in this lane will be key for Immortals.
I just like how aggressive River is actually willing to play this, right? You know, even once he's spotted, he's still staying around, harassing Xerxe, making Destiny come over. You know, they drop the sweeper, they actually spot him over the wall, so then they have to retreat again resetting that aggro on the Gromp. And he's back doing his Krugs at pretty much the same time. So he's just kind of in the face of his enemies, you know, really kind of taxing your mental, taxing your ability to actually speed clear how you want to do it.
He's such a fun jungler to watch. Aggressive jungling is so fun to see because it makes you think about the real, like, ceiling of the role.
Exactly. You have to be so confident to play it like that. Like, you and I know you can go for those invades and it can look really good, but you can also fall flat on your face very, very easily. And if you go for these aggressive plays and you die doing them, you're giving up your tempo on your farm to actually make that risk happen. And then if you die, they are power farming, they kill you, you're just another creep on the road.
Yup. A 300 gold camp, how nice.
Feels good for the enemy jungler. It can look real, real bad. So it takes a lot of skill, takes a lot of confidence to be able to do it. River does end up going back to base. He grabs his pickaxe. He's up towards topside to claim his second scuttle. So it is the nerf scuttles, but it's still a lot of gold. And he's going to be there to cycle his camps right on spot. So Gromp is back up. Wolves are back up. He can clear top towards bot with that scuttle being mixed in. And the delayed scuttle actually helps to cover FakeGod because now Xin is going to be upside on the top side of the map. And this is one of those times where FakeGod has to play it a little bit more carefully, but it's giving him additional safety.
FakeGod has also been the first of our solo laners to use his teleport to get back to lane. We can see Blue and PowerOfEvil both running low on their mana bars, so they'll be looking to have those recalls and teleport back themselves here very shortly. Revenge, not really too worried about resources, so he's still farming up there. FakeGod's not enough of a threat to force him to back off now. As you can see, Destiny and WildTurtle continuing to farm up. Revenge still hanging out here in this top lane, just wants to get this last wave shoved out, and then he'll be able to get his recall and better trade with FakeGod. Level 6 online for all of our solo laners here, so I'm hoping to see some playmaking soon.
Yep, definitely could, but both teams playing it pretty passively for it now. Wasn't able to get the reset, so Revenge is going to have to TP, and it looked like, did he cancel his recall? Okay, never mind. That was just some bug on the mini-map. It looked like the recall stopped channeling. But he is TPing back up, and he is going towards AP, so it's likely just going to be Riftmaker to actually scrap here. Biofrost has got a flash. Early flash from Destiny doesn't quite latch.
Unlucky. They weren't able to guarantee the route there. Biofrost gets away, so the play is going to fizzle. They were bringing PowerOfEvil down and everything. Of course, Dignitas also having their jungler down here now. Turtle and Destiny backing up a little bit. I'm not sure if they're aware.
Don't think they know that River is here. I mean, you could have an idea that he could be on this side of the map because you knew he was up towards topside. They spotted that he took the topside scuttle, so he's going to be clearing towards bot, so you can surmise that he's either at Krugs or in the area, right? But they didn't know that he's quite in the brush, but Blue has wrapped around here. Xerxe, no chance. Oh my God.
Wombo combo, baby. Everybody's there, and the party bus is full speed ahead.
That is a really aggressive move there. Again, moving in onto Xerxe. And he died so fast, he didn't even get a chance to play-by-play. That's my bad.
No, dude, it's all good.
Sometimes,
hey, sometimes a burst is enough. It doesn't matter, but let's see if it turns into anything else here as River will now find Destiny. Knocks him up with the EQ combo, but meanwhile, the bottom lane is turning into a bit of a scrap the other way. We got one dead on either side. PowerOfEvil's looking to go to Reset City. Needs a bit more damage to get Biofrost here. 200 HP left, but it's PowerOfEvil killed off instead. Neo picks up the money, and it's a 3-1 game for Dignitas.
Turns out it's really good for Dignitas, even though they get that kill onto River. The initial play is looking, all right, well, River's here. Destiny's going to be in trouble, but PoE comes down. They get that first kill, and I think PoE's eyes just got a little bit big there. He didn't quite have the damage to actually finish this off. If you can't connect everything onto the Lux, you're not going to be able to kill him. The face check, they were expecting him to be on the Dragon, so they actually called their mid laner down saying, all right, River is doing Dragon, come collapse, we'll come up through bot. Destiny just ends up rooting him up, PowerOfEvil gets the kill, and then Biofrost right here, sidestep on the Q, as well as the E. Both of those miss, and PowerOfEvil realizes he is out of damage. The Q you can maybe blame on PoE for placement. The E, definitely credit deserved by Biofrost for a nice little backstep. But you have got to be on point with those early on in the game. You need every single spell to connect or you won't hit lethal damage. And as a result, the kill goes the other way. Neo grabs it, and Dignitas are going to be really happy about this last couple exchanges down on that bottom side.
Dignitas are now up a little over 1,000 gold. There is still no Drake taken, so you're not going to see any of that early Drake stacking like we got from Cloud9 in the previous game. The same priority is not there. as you said, the expectation from IMT was, hey, maybe River's on that, but no, that's not another player. River is applying this PvP pressure as he's playing, and I'm just loving it.
And I think it's really cool. You know, he plays around your assumptions. He plays around his assumptions of where your vision are. And it's one of those things that when you play against people who really kind of break the norm in that way, it gets in your head because you really start to doubt yourself on where he could be. And when you're playing with a jungler where you never know where they are, the enemy team pretty much has to pretend that he's everywhere. And as soon as you start playing as though the jungler is in every lane, you're losing the game, right?
Exactly.
When every laner plays with respect, you automatically lose trades. You automatically lose control of the wave. These kind of things can really snowball, and I think that is some of the power of an aggressive guy like this, who's willing to just walk over to Dragon, leash it up, and then immediately back into the brush to try to get pick.
And you can see here, River once again looking for any chance. Hey, can we invade here? Is there some sort of a move to be made? Blue has also stepped forward. Immortals not really in any danger, though, as River will now back away, and the Drake can now be started. Should be an easy solo for River. They've got defensive points to both the left and right. Bottom lane has prio. Mid lane has prio. There is no way for Xerxe and Immortals to walk up and contest this. So first Drake of the game is a Hex Drake, and that belongs to Dignitas, who also have continued building that gold.
So I have a completely unrelated and very stupid point.
Okay, go for it,
every time
buddy.
we're watching Dignitas, I'm immediately just thinking about which play-by-play is going to be the one to get caught up by Blue and River. Because it could get pretty ridiculous. Blue is going through the River, over to River, who's leashing the Blue. He's passing it off.
Oh,
you know?
you're right.
You see what I'm saying?
Dude, I didn't even think of that. Now I'm worried about it. That's like
Did
those,
I get in your head?
So I'm
Should
not
I
gonna
not
let,
said anything?
As a,
is it Schrodinger's Blue? You know,
as a play-by-play, the biggest thing that I've worried about for the past couple of years is Hoonie games, where both
they keep you up at night?
Yeah, because those ones
You
are a
wake
little
up sweating, you're just like, damn you, Hoonie!
But now I'm thinking about these, and I'm a little bit concerned. Back here in mid lane, Blue has no blue.
He has no blue, and River is in the River. River
Yes.
could move to the blue or the blue buff. But there is no blue right now.
There is no blue available right now for Blue or River, who is still in the river near the enemy
but
blue.
moving to the blue.
Right.
We'll
But
see if
now-
Blue moves through the river over to River by the blue.
But River is still hanging out by this blue quadrant. Not going to go back into the river. He already secured the Scuttle Crab, so he'll go back to base
I feel
instead.
like this is one of those things that no one else thinks is funny, but I just think it's hilarious.
We're enjoying it. There's
We
not
are
many kills
enjoying
happening
it.
right now. It's okay. We're having a good time.
Yeah.
This feels like a Seinfeld bit, but you know what? It's good.
But it's just been in my brain.
That's
It's
fair.
living rent-free, man.
You've set it free now. If you love something, set it free.
yeah,
That's what they
now
say.
everyone else has to think about it too.
That's what, hey, I'm going to go home, and unfortunately, I'm going to be stuck thinking about this for the rest of the day. I will not
You're
be able to
welcome.
get it out of my mind. Thank you, sir. I
No
appreciate
problem.
it.
That's what I'm here for.
Well, we do have a 2,000 gold lead for the side of Dignitas now. We do have a game that is still casually progressing in their favor without other action being taken. So, Azael, let me pose you this question. What action needs to be taken by Immortals to stop this lead from building further for their opponents?
I mean, I think for now, there's not a huge concern. You know, they just want to continue to farm it up. I think they're going to be happy to fight around 2 items, as pretty much every Ezreal team ever is. They're going to be looking for completed items, you know, on their divers. They have those coming through now. Mythics completed, you know, on the top side of the map. They have the Essence Reaver first down the bot side. And it's going to be about fighting around one of those dragons, finding multiple angles. Because when you're playing Vex and Akali, you want to come from different angles. You want to come from areas where you're not spotted. It's kind of somewhat similar to playing with Fiddlesticks, where often Vex wants to be able to fish for Rs, you know, from an unexpected angle.
Yeah.
Because otherwise the frontliners will just block it. And if you just hit FakeGod or whatever and he steps forward when you take the R in, it generally goes pretty bad. So you want to try to play from areas where, you know, they're around mid lane and you're fishing from that area, or you're coming from over here over the wall looking
Because it has
for
long
something.
range,
It has
too.
super long range. And then if you can get that to the back line and Revenge is coming from another angle, that can look really, really good. But no concerns just yet. It's only 1.5k gold. It's only 1 dragon, so I think everyone's just kind of chilling.
And with Revenge coming from another angle, that is especially threatening now that we've confirmed, hey, it's not a Kim tank build. The full Rift Maker is done. He's got that on top of the Dorian shield. Wanted to completely rush that item. The power of the Omni Vamp in the lane for sustain. Don't even bother going for the boots. It makes it so tank Gragas is not really going to have any sort of success dealing with you, like making meaningful damage. Xerxe and River, both down here on the bot side, River. It will be Dignitas who has control over the Scuttle Crab. Farm between our junglers is pretty even here because I point that out since we've been talking so much about River being everywhere. River always trying to make moves, do this, do that. He hasn't fallen behind from it.
I mean, just look at the vision on the bot side, and it kind of forces the enemy jungle to respond, right? This whole area, there's no wards past there for Immortals whatsoever. They have just been drawn to this bottom side, and because of that threat of River ganking nonstop, Xerxe is kind of pulled to that area, right? He has got to be willing to give up some camps himself, or his bot lane will be preyed upon. And River, again, is here in the area. You know, PoE was moving down, and the tower lives with...
How much does it live with? That has to be single digits.
It's a stiff breeze away.
That's got to be single digits. You can barely see it. 6. It has 6 health out of 5.
More than it needed, baby.
0.1% of its health is still around. River is still around, hanging out in the outpost.
Not in the river.
Hidden from vision. Destiny and WildTurtle are not going to step up. Your Ezreal Karma, they know it. They're just going to play with that range. They're going to respect what could happen here. Dignitas will keep moving forward. Back up in the top side. Oh, nice interrupt there. I like it because you were talking about the priority on Vex being able to cancel dashes earlier.
Yeah.
And throughout the history of League of Legends, Gragas' dash has priority over so many others. Like, if Lee Sin tries to take second Q onto Gragas and Gragas belly slams him, he's always going to do the damage instead. So that's another one of those abilities you can interrupt a lot with.
Those interactions are actually so important to learn. You know, it really can change the entire context of a fight. You know, one of the champions that really made me focus on that a lot was when Camille came in, because I was playing a lot of Shen at the time, and when you would play against the Camille, they would hookshot towards you. You say, oh, I'm going to taunt this guy out of his hookshot. Well, it actually interrupts your taunt and stuns you.
So
and you're like, well, guess I'm not going to try that one again.
Just lost a 20-second cooldown, and I got
And I'm
CC'd.
dead.
So a little bit unlucky on that one. But back here, we have the dragon spawned again. It is a Cloud Drake, so similar to what you said in game number 1. When you see this as one of the first 2, you're generally happy because it's not the soul. They'll be picking that one up on the side of Immortals, so no soul stacking for either side. Revenge taken low up here in the 1v1 against FakeGod, so he'll have to back away a little bit now. That first turret bottom lane did fall, the only one taken so far. Dignitas continues having this 2,500 gold lead, and once more, my friend, we get an Ocean Soul.
It is going to be Ocean Soul, but neither team with multiple dragons, so it's very far away, to be honest with you. You're 16 minutes in. The earliest they're looking at it is, 30, 35 minutes if they get all the dragons. So it's unlikely that it's going to be the deciding factor. Dignitas really would have wanted to grab that second dragon to try to threaten that as a win condition, but feeling pretty comfortable about their position in this game. Now, Neo just moving up towards the top side. This is kind of classic bread and butter stuff here with Caitlyn. Oh, yeah. You have heavy push on the bot side. They were really trying to make use of those changes, and that's one of the reasons that Caitlyn really rose in priority is the changes with Unleashed TP. You cannot get TP flanked on. It's harder to punish the non-stop relentless aggression that Caitlyn brings out. So you take down that bottom tower, rotate up towards top side, start working on this tower, and post plates. Oh, you could be... Well,
no, it's not that bad. It's still just, Biofrost has a lost chapter, a pair of shoes, a red Brock, and that blue knife thing. There's not really a whole lot into the laser with that one.
That's true, but I was thinking the binding hits, if Neo was a little bit faster, if you connect the trap, I think you do just go 100 to 0 in that case, because then you get the reveal with the snap trap as well, so you get the headshot, that comes through, you can do the 90 caliber net for a second headshot, there's a full combo that you can pull off, followed up by the ace in the hole. And you can essentially get like 2 to 3 headshot crits, plus your Q, plus the ulti, and it's this full combo that often will be pulled off that is really, really dangerous if you ever do get caught by that CC chain, especially when they're going collector second.
And on the subject of combos, down here in the bottom lane, like looking at PowerOfEvil, now that Mythics are completed and Vex has the Everfrost, to me, this is a similar interaction and what makes that item so oppressive like it is on Twisted Fate. Yeah. Whereas you go in, you're guaranteed if you hit that ult, you're going to hit your fear, because as soon as you land, you just fear them. And then she can summarize that, or follow that, I should say, with the Everfrost right after. And it just creates so much CC, so much lockdown, and then it guarantees that you're also able to go, hey, Q, E, everything, die, see ya.
It's really, really powerful, and especially against multi-melee teams, even when you are just kiting back, if a champion like Jarvan or Gragas wants to move forward, wants to go aggressive, they have to worry about the Everfrost disengage, which can get very, very problematic. You get slowed up, rooted up, then all of a sudden you're running past the minions to engage, and you're exposed to Ezreal, exposed to Karma, all these champions that do get pretty tricky to deal with. You can see, though, Ezreal nearly on that very famous 2-item power spike here. Revenge not going to quite tank that up, and...
It looked like you wanted to, but they just weren't quite lined up. Like it was, does Turtle take another step to the right? Does Revenge take another step to the left? They didn't know, so they both just decided, okay, I'll plant my feet and he'll move. And then the bullet finds its way onto Ezreal. Sometimes those happen. My favorite ones are when somebody's about to die. Oh, maybe somebody is about to die. Nope, not quite. Blue was able to return his position.
When you're playing with your buddy and they're standing directly in front of it, and you're like, oh, they got it, and they flash out of it, and you die.
Yeah, that's what I do that to my friends all the time. Especially if you're playing like a tank-style champion where it's obvious that you should take it. Yeah. You just walk in front of them, give them the thumbs up, and then flash it at the last second.
Thumbs up is truly...
I only play in full 5-mans. It's not actually griefing. I am not report-worthy.
Yeah, just, you know, if you do it too many times, then you have to start putting the quotation marks on friends. You know, they stop being friends and they start being friends.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. If you're doing it a lot, you got to make sure you're doing it with different groups of friends and not just the same guy over and over again, otherwise he'll hate you. But we do have the mid lane under pressure from Dignitas here. PowerOfEvil going in. There's the combo, there's the root, but it is not enough. Xerxe can't get in there to follow up in time, and PowerOfEvil is already down. Rivers managed to find a Cataclysm onto 2, but now he's going to be isolated near the rest of the enemy team. 1-for-1, mid laner for jungle. It's Immortals, now with better health bars, controlling the mid lane.
Yeah, they're going to be able to get vision on this bottom side, so it looks like they want to be the ones to start up this next dragon, potentially. A lot of cooldown spent. Neo did survive, but it was both summoners plus the Gale Force used to actually get out of there. We'll see on this reset who's going to be first to the area. River will be available when that Ocean Dragon does spawn, but he's not going to be there to actually sweep out vision, and that's where it does get a little bit scary. Thankfully, Blue stayed healthy. He's on the map and is moving around trying to clear out some of these wards. We can see this one more time. Blue goes in aggressive, and as he actually jumps back, it's PowerOfEvil coming over, looking for the engage, and that's what I was talking about from this pit. It's about finding these good angles, coming over the wall, not straight on where the Gragas can block it. He connects onto Neo, doesn't quite have the 100-0 damage, as Xerxe was not there just to follow up. It's a bit unfortunate because Turtle actually spent his ult prior to the engage. If Turtle had his ulti for that fight, I think you just landed on the Everfrosted Caitlyn and he's just dead. Well,
now we might have another play. Xerxe with the flash, knowing that the Gragas ulti was going to follow. He protects himself from that angle. So now Dignitas will head down into the river. They will look to be able to control the Drake Pit. Revenge here on the flank. Immortals stepping up. Xerxe goes in, but it's in a 1v4. River returns the favor. He's going to be looking for the back line. Immortals are desynced. WildTurtle gets himself away. Destiny's still stuck with the enemy jungler. PowerOfEvil is going to be rooted up and double killed down. Now Revenge is looking to find one, but he gets a whole lot of nothing. Immortals, that was not it.
No, they were not synced up whatsoever. Their Immortals go for the fight. Revenge is looking for the long flank, though, and his team is hard engaging. They're not going in at the same time, and as a result, they lose on both sides. Credit to FakeGod, though. When Revenge reveals himself going for Neo, it was an instant body slam flash. The peel keeps his AD alive, gets him a triple. That's going to get them the Baron. And this is going to be so hard from here. Already down 5,000 plus gold. Add in the Baron.
6, my friend. Nearly 7 at 22 minutes. Holy moly, let's take a look one more time.
Yeah, so this is the decent thing we're talking about. Revenge is going out the bottom of your screen. Xerxe's already going in. Revenge is trying to come a long way around here, and that is fine if your team is playing it slow. Then PowerOfEvil is going in. Your jungler's already dead. It's like a bad Kung Fu movie where people are going one at a time. Xerxe goes in and dies. Then PowerOfEvil goes in to try to follow it up. But his jungler's already dead, so he just goes into a 1v4. Then you can see the pressure is really kind of hitting, where it felt like Revenge says, okay, well, I need to get something here. I need to bail us out of this fight. But Body Slam Flash from FakeGod was beautiful. Neo cleans him up, and now Dragon going down here too. Immortals' woes from lock-in continue. They just don't seem to be on the same page.
Xerxe jumps in. He wants to try to contest here for this Drake. It's going to be killed by Neo, of all people, who is now stuck in the pit. Revenge finally finds the kill here. Going to be 1-for-1 so far. River now under pressure. PowerOfEvil looking for the kill on the enemy jungler. True Shot Barrage coming through. Xerxe will be the next to die. River staying alive, turning back on that aggro as FakeGod goes in. Alley-oop on the Akali. Will he fall? Yes, he will. Double kill back over to Blue. 3-for-1 dig.
That was a pretty good fight there from Immortals, all things considered. But when you're down 7,000 gold, you need so much more than a pretty good fight to be able to win it out. They got the early kill on the Neo. They punished the fact that his flash was down, that his heal was down. But it did not matter because the rest of the Dignitas members stand strong. They collect the dragon. They're pushing up mid. They're pushing in bot. With those waves, the Baron buff going to make a big difference here. See how much more they can extend the gold lead.
I also want to point out that Biofrost currently has the perfect support score. 0, 0, and 10 on a 10-kill team, 100% kill participation, no kill steals, no mistakes.
This one, I think, was a lot better from Immortals. They go in, Revenge, over the wall, right onto Neo. Xerxe pushes him back right into the waiting arms of Revenge there. Who then executes the Caitlyn. You're thinking, hey, maybe they can get it done. But this is the difference in the gold. PowerOfEvil just doesn't have enough damage to actually take out River. He used the full combo on him there. Then a great stopwatch from Biofrost not only negates the Q coming through from PowerOfEvil, but also a Q coming across from Revenge. And in the meanwhile, FakeGod is getting damage done. Blue is getting damage done. These soul laners cannot be ignored. They push through. And it's going to get so much harder because the Maw is now completed. Neo already had the Hexdrinker, but now has the Maw. He knows the only true threat to him is magic damage. It's about the Akali and the Vex diving in the back line. But that is going to be so hard to zero out this Caitlyn, who has a full Maw, and he's going to have a shield maxing Lux supporting you.
Well, we have 10 seconds left on Baron, and Dignitas want to get their mileage out of it. They will push onto the tier 3 turret here in the bottom lane. They will crack that wide open. Inhibitor now under pressure, and Immortals are not in a position to protect this. They're saying we can handle one lane full of super minions. We can't handle a team fight here. Let them have it.
Yep, you see Revenge, as you said, pushing over there. They get an objective bounty. That's something. That gives them a little bit of hope to kind of claw their way back in, but 7.5K is so rough, and PowerOfEvil swinging a miss on the ultimate. That barely did not connect.
Those, though. You gotta go fishing at this point.
Absolutely.
Try to find anything you can. A 7,000 gold lead. We're at that point in the game that we've talked about so many times in the past throughout so many different games of League of Legends, where you have to start making low percentage plays because your chance to win is already so low that a 10% play doesn't feel terrible.
10% is probably 2 to 3 times as good as what your chance of winning this game is playing it out slow, right?
Yep.
So you got to take those risks. Anytime you think you have an extra man at a fight, go for the engage, because it's play fast or lose slow, right?
Yeah.
You've got to be willing to make picks happen. You've got to be willing to look for those plays. That's the only way you can make the comeback happen. But it's so tough in League of Legends when people itemize appropriately from ahead because the luxury items start to come through. River just goes second item GA. He says, who needs Xerxe this game? We're way ahead. I'm just going to be the guy diving in, sacrificing myself for the team. He has that GA to be able to keep himself safe. You know, the Maw I already touched on, that came through. You know, got Crown of the Shattered Queen, defensive very much for Biofrost, going to keep himself safe. So it's tough to find these picks.
Blue gets knocked up into the air there. Xerxe did have the 3rd hit of the 3 talent strike primed and ready to go for the knockup. So Blue does take a little bit of damage for his poke, but again, you can just snap back. Not really that big of a deal. Ace in the hole finds Xerxe, and a big ulti from the big man in the top lane. Biofrost gets the kill on Destiny. The support claims the enemy support, and Dignitas keeps on pushing.
And man, can we take a second to appreciate the setup? Look at all this vision in this area. No chance they could be TP flanked by Immortals. That is a thing of beauty from Dignitas, checking all the boxes. They're already ahead. They say, how can we possibly lose? A perfect TP flank. We eliminate the chance by dropping 4 control wards behind you.
And Revenge is there. He's on the flank, but he can't approach. They're doing a good job here with the Caitlyn traps. Blue jumps in, forces Revenge away. Not only do you chunk a little bit of his HP, but with no Shroud, Akali does not want to jump in for a team fight. Absolutely not.
No shot. Dignitas will be able to take their prize, back it up slowly, reset, look towards Dragon. Love the vision play here. That really is one of the only chances Immortals would have had. And they just eliminate every opportunity their opponents have here. So this is just smart play from the side of Dignitas, and River flexing on him a little bit there.
I love the fact that they have both of these side inhibitors now as both neutral objectives are spawning.
Yeah.
So if Immortals want to contest Dragon, hey, you got super minions top side. Immortals want to contest Baron, hey, you got super minions bot side. The moral of the story is, hey, you got super minions. And that is a problem for the boys in green. Immortals have their work cut out for them. Dignitas feeling great about the current state of the game. Blue gonna jump in there, has a Banshee's Veil, so can take a little bit of poke, not too worried about it.
They just wait for the waves.
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything. Wait for the waves. Wait for those to be pushed in. Once someone responds, then at Dignitas, you know, all right, we're up a man. Now we move forward. Vex shows they're gonna look for a fight.
Here we go. River finding the dunk onto Destiny, but now he gets right back out. Revenge is coming up from behind, but they're not really worried about that. They'd rather go forward. Xerxe is going to be the target. He loses the Crescent Guard, and now Immortals are trying to find a way to continue the fight. River's going to lose Guardian Angel. Revenge trying to get away. Biofrost finds him with the ulti. Blue looking to clean this up a little bit. Where's the mop? Where's the bucket? Destiny manages to get away from the root on the chains. Dignitas 5-man strong, pushing down mid. Immortals have to retreat. Yes, they only lost one, but the rest are injured. They have to regroup, they have to fall back. Dignitas takes the opportunity to make this a 3-inhibitor game. Even if you can't end it here, the pressure of 2 super minions in every lane is immense.
It absolutely is, and it was a great fear from PowerOfEvil to actually peel that LeBlanc off of his Karma, or Destiny would have gone down as well. So now they push him in, they take the triple inhib. That bottom lane inhibitor probably is going to be respawning here pretty soon. Yeah, it looks like only 40 seconds remaining, so that'll be back relatively soon. But still, you have no vision on the map. The dragon is absolutely gone. They can move over towards Baron after this. Immortals, maybe you just try to rush out and get some vision on Baron and say, well, hopefully Xerxe can steal it or something like that.
Yep.
Because the pressure gets so difficult on the map, but they don't have the waves pushed out, so it's not even like they can threaten a counter Baron knowing that their opponents are resetting. They just don't have tempo to do it. So all they can do, try to get some wards down, hope that they're not swept out, and say, maybe we look for a steal here.
It's one of those types of games where we're now at the point where you can't reasonably come up with a game plan for how Immortals comes back here, because the only ways they come back are a massive error from Dignitas or a pure fluke with a Baron steal or something like that, like what you were talking about. Dignitas now 1 away from that soul. Soul point on the Ocean Drake feels so damn good if the game even lasts that long, but honestly, my friend, I don't expect it to.
I don't expect it to either, and they have more luxury items there. There's a stopwatch on Neo. There's a full Zonia's now completed on Biofrost. Those are the squishy targets, and they're so tough to actually lock down and take out. Blue now on the flank. He found Xerxe.
Oh, Xerxe is gone. Blue unstoppable. And now Immortals, they're going to get body slam flashed on. Here comes the ace in the hole. And Revenge is now stuck in a bad spot trying to stay alive in the smoke. But the only smoke coming out here is from Dig. WildTurtle's in the dirt for nothing, and Dignitas will walk it in.
They keep it rolling. Dignitas pick up right where they left off in lock-in, looking so good here. Insult to injury, PowerOfEvil gonna die in the base.
Oh, make the Cauldron River turn him into soup. Immortals get aced, and Dignitas get themselves a win on the board to kick off the regular season.
Absolute domination here from Dignitas, 17-3. Full control, it felt like, start to finish here. River really playing heavily towards that bottom side. Neo gets ahead through the turret play. You know, constant pressure with J4. They're pushing up. They're taking down the tower. They're moving around the map. You know, extending the gold lead very, very steadily. Blue had a solid game, was out farming in mid, able to clean up a lot of kills in a lot of these team fights and finding intelligent angles. Really, everything was going well for them. Even FakeGod up on the top side was trading really, really well. Deathless game here, great engages, perfect peel on that one fight in the river for Neo. There's not a lot to criticize here. Dignitas just looked damn good.
Yeah, everybody was doing exactly what you were looking for them to do. I pointed out Biofrost having that perfect support scoreline for so long, right around the time that you got the team fight with the stopwatch that stopped both Qs. Everything was firing as it needed to for this team. And Azael, River is one of the most entertaining junglers to watch that we've had in the LCS for a long time, I think.
Yeah.
Like, in a team where everybody did well, I find myself constantly just drawn to whatever he's doing because, like you said, the decision-making, the fact that he always makes you second-guess and he plays against conventional wisdom, it just always makes everybody question mark pinging the whole map. Where is he? What's he doing?
And I love the terminology you used there. You know, you're drawn to River. So is the whole game. And I think that is what is kind of a beautiful thing about it. You know, we're talking about, well, it feels like River is constantly pressuring lanes. You know, why is Xerxe not more ahead? Well, because he constantly has to guard against these lanes. He's constantly having to hover his lanes. His laners are calling him to actually defend against these possible ganks because they're playing around vision so well. And that's not just a River thing. River is doing it damn well, but that is a Dignitas vision thing. They deserve a lot of credit for it. You know, I highlighted all the control wards to try to defend against the TP flank, but also early game, there was multiple control wards across that bottom area in the river to deny vision, and J4 is constantly poking and prodding. He's going to harass you at the Gromp. Now he's threatening a dive. Now he's over at the Dragon. Well, you're calling people over there, and they are playing with more information, and they're playing around that information that they do have more intelligently, and that is creating massive advantages for Dignitas.
And that's such a good sign to me for a team specifically at the start of the split, because it means out of the gate, the communication is where it needs to be. You can have 5 great players all performing individually well, and it's not going to work if the comms aren't there. I mean, we saw in one of those mid-game team fights where Immortals go in, and as you pointed out, Xerxe's already dead by the time Revenge arrives. It ends up being all right, everybody go at him one at a time type of Kung Fu movie situation. Immortals didn't have the coordination. Dignitas did, and man, it paid its dividends.
And that's kind of the struggle here for Immortals is you're kind of left with a lot of questions, because a lot of these guys are actually coming off of really good years last year, right? You know, PowerOfEvil has been one of the most consistent players in the LCS for so many years. Xerxe is really highly respected as a jungler. I think Turtle actually had a really solid year. Yes, CLG did not have a good year, but individually I think he played well. You know, Revenge and Destiny were kind of strong parts on Immortals already. So you're thinking they have a pretty strong recipe for success here, but for whatever reason, they are not gelling. They do not look like they're on the same page in any of the 5 now games that they have lost in a row.
Right.
And they have got to change something up quick. I mean, in this one, it felt like Dignitas came in with the idea that, well, we just kind of locked down PowerOfEvil's champion pool. There was all these bans poured into control mages. From Immortal's side as well, he gets put down on the Vex, and Blue has another good game. You know, it's Blue that people thought was going to be getting destroyed by top LCS mid laners like PowerOfEvil. People had him ranked as 10 out of 10. You know, this guy's a joke. He comes in, he has completely disproven that. Blue has been playing really, really well. You know, he's healthy, he's motivated, and he's looking really strong on Dignitas against some of the best competition in the league.
Well, Dig stomp their first game here in the regular season, and now we're joining the top.